So where I get the news from, everybody, is torrent. I don't really use any other media source, only because that you can't really believe what they say. In hindsight, the mainstream media, when it comes to the tech world, they want you to be scaremongered, which means that they want you to bin your device, in case you might get caught out. That's effectively what reaction they want. But you can protect yourself from that, and it's called just using a VPN server. Now, you can use free VPNs. Bear in mind that free VPNs, the connection speed might be lower, and there might be limitations. So VPNs might actually limit you on your connections. It might actually limit you on the locations you connect to. Might even limit the time duration for each session that your VPN is connected to. There are some free VPNs for extensions for your web browsers, and I will make a separate video about that, what VPNs I would recommend for a free, without needing any payment for anything, but for a premium server, for a premium connection, and for a faster speed, it is recommended to invest into a VPN just for that purpose. But you can use free VPNs should your budget be very tight and you can't really afford to buy one. So let's just have a look at what is the latest for piracy. Now, the reason why I'm talking about piracy is because of the cost of living crisis. Piracy is talked about today. It's a popular subject, and people are turning to piracy because they just want to watch content. It's better than watching, freeview channels nowadays. Because it's everything on digital. Back in 10 years ago, all you had was Netflix and Amazon Prime. You've got Disney Plus now, you've got ITVX, you've got Channel 4. Channel 4 is free, by the way, and ITVX is free, but most of the content is premium paid for, and you can find most of their content on the BBC iPlayer. I did do a review on ITVX as well. If you want to watch it, I'll link it on screen right now. You can find that you can get free content, but people turn in for sites because you can just think about, oh, I fancy watching this show today, type it and watch it. It's all about that. But they are preventing or trying to ramp up his efforts to prevent people from doing it in that way. But I do find it ironic because the reason is, if you wanted to watch an old show, like a really old show that was very rare on TV, I know a couple of shows that was very rare on TV and I can't find anywhere to watch it, like Cowboy Builders. That was a really good show I really liked, and I've looked everywhere for years to try and find it or try and track the show down so I can watch a few episodes, but to no avail. But that's not on TV now. So it's just an example, a very old show that's not on repeated telly, and you want to watch a few episodes. I do understand it from that point of perspective. But it's just the newer shows, and piracy is doesn't just cover TV shows. It covers music. Rather than paying Spotify, you can just download your songs, transport it to your device. Piracy is in so many different subcategories. But I would think TV shows are mainly popular because when they come out for the first time, people want to watch it straight away. They don't want to wait for it to come on mainstream TV. They just want to find it and watch it as soon as. But that's why cinemas are going downhill as well. You find cinemas closing down quite often now because of the growing digital content, and people don't need to come to cinemas anymore. If you think of it, a movie comes out, say, last month, or Kung Fu Panda, that's newly released this month. By say June at least, or maybe July, that'll be on TV at some point. So cinemas isn't as a craze as it was maybe 10-15 years ago. But let's just have a look. So as you can see there, so Netflix piracy is difficult to compete against and growing rapidly. As a member of ACE, and ACE is a popular site, popular takedown site, I've noticed, because as soon as you type in a site, it comes up with Alliance for Creativity Entertainment and encourages you to watch it from legal sources, i.e. Netflix, HBO Max. You can even use Tubi. Tubi is a really good site as well for free content, but you find that there's a really good range of content, but it might not suit it for all, you see. So this is why. So piracy as well, if you don't know, if you're unfamiliar with the terminology of it, piracy means an unfiltered site, an unverified profiteering site, which provides content that isn't legal in a sense. So if you're just going to watch The Big Bang Theory from a third-party source, that third-party source haven't got the actual rights to that TV show, so it's released unauthorized. So it's a bit of a copyright infringement sort of scenario there. But that's what a piracy site means, resorting to third-party tools and resources to be able to watch some content. But piracy isn't just that, though. I mean, piracy is always a grey area, and something that no law can stop, because unless a law is enforced or a law is brought in, it's still technically legal, because you're not actually downloading the content, you're not disputing that content. So piracy is, in the terminology, is legal in the sense of just watching it. So it's not even breaking the law. So I don't understand why all these articles are coming out, not just from Torrent, or a different site, and they want people thinking, oh, well, hold on, I gotta stop my activity here because I don't want to face a lengthy prison sentence. But it all depends on the country. If you're on a different country, check out on the laws. That's what I would recommend, because yeah, it is a grey area for the UK. Everybody, it's a grey area because they want people to stop using these sites, but it's just not going to be stopped, because you find that a dozen sites go down, a dozen sites go back up. So if they got so much time on their hands to do that, to bring every site down in its capability, I think they've got everything in their power to maybe draw up a drawing board and prevent people from leaving their company, leaving like Netflix, Amazon, encourage them to stay with those sites. It's something that they can do to regain their audience. But if in my opinion as well, I do find there's a lot of competition now in the entertainment sector, so it's going to be so difficult, to get subscribers to Netflix, to Amazon, because it really costs a lot of money. And if you don't get a free trial option, you'd be paying a lot of money for entertainment, and you might not even want Disney Plus for a whole month. You might only just want to watch it for 2 days, but you still got to pay that upfront fee unless you had that free trial already. It is annoying because it's price before viewing, so that's why I understand people resorting to this. And to be honest, it's not actually illegal. But yeah, initially this seemed to work. Netflix amassed hundreds of million subscribers, some of whom left their piracy habits behind. However, as the streaming wars turned legal and convenient, streaming platforms into isolated and pricey content, momentum started to shift. In recent years, piracy started to grow again, including well-deserved markets such as the United States. Ethereum may help Netflix in its battle with other legal platforms, but this is a consolation prize if the war against piracy is lost. But there are no concrete signs that Netflix is crumbling, but piracy is a concern. This isn't breaking news. Piracy has been reportedly highlighted as tough competition in the company's 10K filings at the CEC, which I'm not familiar with what that is. But piracy is a tough competitor. Early this year, Netflix admitted its latest 10K findings. The mandatory document provides information that helps investors to gather key information about piracy traded companies in the competition sector of the annual overview. Piracy is again mentioned several times, so that's a little screen grab there. Netflix explained that the online video landscape is a competitive business. New services and distribution models could impact the business of the leading video streaming platform. This includes legal competitors as well as piracy, which also means sites as Tubi, Roku Channel, some other sites as well. But I've only found that Tubi is a really good one. Roku Channel is really good as well. It has some got British TV on there, but there is another couple of legal routes to watch some source content from. But again, Tubi and Roku, you need a VPN to watch it because it's not available in the UK. But yeah, the various economics models underlying these channels, including subscriptions, as supported in piracy-based models, all of these have the potential to capture meaningful segments of the entertainment video market Netflix rights. Growing and hard to stop. When Netflix launched its on-demand streaming service, were more convenient than most piracy sites at the time. Torrent sites was dominant, but still required users to have some technical knowledge and the patience to wait for the content to download. Today, most piracy users use on-demand streaming, taking away a major edge for Netflix, and that's because piracy is so compelling for consumers, it is growing rapidly worldwide, threatening legal services. In light of the compelling consumer proposition, piracy services are subject to rapid global growth, and our efforts to prevent that growth may be insufficient. If you are unable to successfully offer profitably compete with current and new competitors, our business will be adversely affected and may not be able to increase or maintain market share, revenues, or profitability. Unauthorized copying. The concerns voiced by Netflix are real, but the company is near its demise. These 10K filings are supposed to detail risk, and Netflix is the only company. It's not the only company mentioning piracy as a potential threat. So that's just a screen grab there of a Netflix show being distributed on a unofficial source. When we started looking at similar mentions by the businesses, we stumbled across similar concerns, and strongly enough, some identical ones. Apparently, there's quite a bit of going on, as CEC's filings from several companies include identical passages. Netflix, in light of the compelling consumer proposition, piracy services are subject to rapid global growth. Fubo TV, Redbox Entertainment, Curiosity Stream. We don't know what these references are going to be, but we get the picture there. So Ace have joined another competitor to try and take these sites down. I don't think it's going to be a threat to piracy. I really don't, because I know piracy will never die. I mean, let's just face it. It's really, really popular. So I think they've always got that upper hand because they know people can't pay for for the content, and I do think they should really sympathise with the consumer there, because not many people will have the money to stream legally. And again, I reiterate from my earlier standpoint, it's not illegal in the UK. It's only illegal if you were to download content and distribute it by a DVD, which then would be unauthorised distribution of copyrighted material. But yeah, unlike the UK with Premiership, this is just talking about sports. Sports is a major player as well in piracy. Because if you look at it from legal perspective, like Now TV, you have to get like a sports pass, and they can cost a lot of money now. Reason being is because there isn't many deals with the sports, and when you would want sports the most, i.e. for darts or for football, you don't get deals there. You only get deals right at the end of the year, where you won't even need it because there's not going to be any sports 365 days a year. So that's where they'll do a deal right at the very end of the year. But by then you wouldn't want that deal. You wouldn't even want that service. You would only want it for the main sport months, like when darts are on, football's on, rugby's on. And that's where they would rake in a deal. But people wouldn't want to buy that then, because it would be a waste of money, and the sports would have already been over, unless they did a yearly deal, which they used to do. I'm not sure if they're going to do that now. But yeah, it's strange, everybody, because sports, I know, is a massive competitor, and it's really expensive as well. The Piracy League boosts out piracy campaign hopes to reduce piracy in Indonesia, Melanesia, Hong Kong, Thailand, and Vietnam. In broad terms, the campaign mirrors the strategy in the UK and consists of almost identical messages. Fans who watch matches via illegal services expose themselves to risks including malware, ransomware, identity theft, and various other scams. Now, that's a different ball game there, everybody, because you don't really expose yourself to that. If you get a VPN, your connection is then blocked, so they don't even know where you're streaming from. And malware is just a simple software on your PC, which, if any malware is detected, the software removes it. So I wouldn't really be worried over that. And the ransomware and identity theft, I really don't. Identity theft is where you're giving credit card information. I don't know how they're going to track you. If you got your VPN switched on, that's the only way I know. If there's any other way that they use, I'll be very surprised. But identity theft is a very odd one to mention, because you haven't entered any personal details about yourself anyway. And if you do, then that's obviously quite dubious, because online streaming, you wouldn't need a credit card to do so if you were to do it from illegal sources. But yeah, we're just going to have a look at this little bit of an article here, everybody, and then, so as you can see, the gambling crackdown benefits Premier League. As reported in 2023, ISP in Vietnam periodically received instructions from the authority to block or trade other actions against various sites. In media reports, the platform are regularly described as copyright infringing, since they typically over Premier League, Series A, and LA Ligua matches without appropriate licensing. However, most blocked or otherwise sanctioned sites have something else in common. The promotion and provision of direct access to illegal gambling services, something the authority appears much less willing to tolerate. Torrent Freak attend the latest of Ministry of Information and Communications list. It contains over 400 domains, and according to metadata, was last updated on December 26, 2023. And around 200 of these domains, the new editions, are dated December 2023. The laws the sites allegedly violate are not part of the record, but from our sampling, links to gambling is the common denominator. And Sticky Rice domains heads the list. I'm not familiar of that, but we do care. As I'm reading these articles, everybody, we do understand that. Everyone will understand that piracy is a major thorn in everyone's skin, because they know that it's going to potentially ruin their profits that the company's making from like Netflix and things. But people haven't got the money now to do it, and again, it's got to look at it from a legal perspective. Unless the laws change, nobody's really committing a crime. Now, this is what another method that people might do. I'm not sure if it's the consumers doing that, obviously, but it could be just a dubious takedown from a dubious company to try and get it taken down on the sly. That's just one of the many tactics that people do now, because they seriously want all these sites from the internet, but it's just simply not going to work like that. But as you can see there, in response to a series of allegedly fraudulent notices, yesterday the operator of YTMP3.nu and Y2Mate.nu filed a complaint against a federal court in California. The complaint allegedly that the site had been targeted by one or more competitors within the aim of disappearing the sites from search results. Now, I actually found that to be the case, because Google search as well, if you type in a site or type in a search term, they are slowly trying to slow the rate of sites appearing with that keyword. So it's a case of actually switching your search engine. Again, but I think it's only Google a massive part in that. If you look at Bing, if you look at DuckDuckGo, if you look at any other, Yahoo as well, I don't think they're doing it themselves there. But Google, if you find a search term where you would have loads of sites to click on now, you tend to get like a slow rate of them, because they are trying to get it delisted from Google. But it's not going to prevent it. I mean, one quick bookmark and you're already on that site in a matter of seconds, and that's not even looking at Google. But Risk Ghastly. So while both YouTube rivers have been targeted by legitimate right holders in the past, the defendants in this lawsuit clearly fall into a different category, and their notices often fall into a listed copyright work, or rather reference dubious copyright holders. The complaint lists an example of DMCA notice that was sent by a YouTube converter claiming to protect the Risk Ghastly track Never Gonna Give You Up. But the thing is, everybody, that site, how would they have that song there? Because it's not actually playing on that site, so that's already dubious. But it says instead the copyright for Never Gonna Give You Up are held by All Boys Music Limited. So as you can see there's so many sites that has been apparently prohibited, copyrighted, or copyrighted infringed. Sites there, so many of them. So Google is slow to remove YouTube rippers URL in response to takedown notices sent by legitimate copyright holders, but this one doesn't appear to fall into that category. So it is a strange one in the piracy world, everybody. It's legal in a sense, and it's not legal in another. So, but I wouldn't really worry about what you see in the news in terms of streaming. The only time I would actually particularly worry is if you are in a different country and you haven't checked the laws around it. Because like I said, UK is a grey area for piracy. It is legal in a sense because you're just streaming it. That's the law here. It's only illegal if you were to distribute, download, and then make like a DVD copy of it and set it on that way. That's the only bit it would become illegal. But I hope this video has helped everybody. I do apologise if I actually ramble through this video. But I hope you have enjoyed this little news episode. If you did, hit that like and subscribe and share, and I hope this has been an interesting video for you, and yeah, I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you everybody on the next one.